Hey y'all, welcome to Simple Conversations. This is KJ.
Hey, and it's Alice. So pause us for a minute, grab you something to drink, come back, sit down, and be a part of this conversation.
Because we have a lot to say. Welcome to Simple Conversations. So y'all, listen, this is our disclaimer. We're not here to give you any advice or tell you how to live your life.
Well, maybe just a little.
We're still trying to figure this thing out ourselves. Thanks for tuning in. Hey y'all, welcome back to Simple Conversations where grace meets strength. Hey Alice.
Hey, KJ, how you doing?
Really good, really good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's 2021.
Finally.
I know.
We made it through 2020.
We did. And I said I just believed that magic dust was going to fall from heaven at midnight on the 31st.
And it didn't.
It did not. And then all heck broke loose again in our country in January. Oh my goodness.
Lord help us.
Yes, for sure. Lord help us. He's the only one that can help us.
It's the truth.
So you guys, we are recording today on January 13th. So we wanted to come to you today and talk about the importance and the value of not just having goals, but writing them down, having some accountability, tracking and cultivating your goals. Because if you don't pay attention and are not purposeful in your life, life will happen and you'll just go along for the ride.
Which is what we all did in 2020.
Yeah, well, we did, but we didn't, because you and I, we did some good things in 2020, despite all the negative things that were happening in the world. We did take some time and really make the most of an ugly situation.
That is true.
We released a podcast.
We did.
Right? And so for our listeners, we did that not only for you, but so we wouldn't go stir crazy.
Right?
And, I released the Grace-Filled Life Designer.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And so those were just a couple things. And we did stay focused on our goals as much as the world allowed, for us to work through those. So, yeah, lessons learned, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to say that I feel like that 2020 kind of gypped me on my goals. Like, I had goals. Honest to goodness, I don't even remember what they were. But what I know to be true is there's some things that I did accomplish.
Right.
I became more present with my family, and that's always a good thing, right?
For sure, right?
We talked about this podcast for I don't know how long, about stepping out and doing this, and then we, just so happened that we started planning it right before the pandemic and the world kind of shut down, and so then we had the opportunity to go forward with that. So it was good, but it's 2020. And it's 2021.
2021. Look, I want to say that I think that the one is significant because one is like the beginning. It's like the start.
I love that.
Okay, so we always think of, I'll start in January, I'll start on Monday, I'll start at the beginning of the month. Okay, well, it's one. Let's start.
Yeah.
Do something.
Absolutely.
Let's
write it down so you can be intentional about whatever that something is.
Yeah. So we want to talk to you today and share with you some of our goals for the year, how we keep track of them, how if you've made progress, kind of, all the things, what tools we use. Okay. So KJ, how long have you been writing out goals?
That's a very interesting question because I really have not been writing out goals for a long time. I would probably say the last 5 years.
Okay.
And I only started writing those goals because a mentor encouraged me to, because you're distracting me.
I'm sorry. I'm counting how many books I have because we started together and this 21, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books on my shelf. So this is our 7th year doing goals.
7th year doing goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. You said 5 and I was like, I just counted. That's not right.
Okay.
We did the first year we did it together, right? We did the cultivate together. Okay.
That's true.
All right. So sorry
Okay.
to
Wow, it's been 7 years.
Yeah, like 2014, right? Like, does that? I can pull the book out and look. Do I need to?
No, it's not necessary for this particular episode, but I was.
Okay, let's just. I think it's about.
Going on 7 years.
Yeah.
That's that, and we started that in the summer, didn't we?
We did. We didn't start at the beginning of the year.
Right. We started that in the summer. So yeah. So it's been roughly 7 years, so Alice says. So but with all of that being said, I had a health and fitness mentor that encouraged me to write down my health and fitness goals, because as long as they were just in my head, then they're just a dream, right?
Right.
So yeah. But doing the Make It Happen workshop with you, I think that's when I really learned how to take a goal, break it down, and really have something to work towards, because I am that person, if it looks too big, sometimes I won't even try. And I don't know what it is about my characteristic, but that's just really something that I have processed, become aware of. And I think it's a strength that I know that about myself. I don't think that it's a weakness that that's how I am. Yep. So yeah. So I love writing down my goals. I really do. I don't love checking off a list, but I love to know where I want to go.
Yeah.
I love to have it in front of me. Mm-hmm. I love a vision board. I mean, right. I totally believe in vision boards. I mean, the wall that I'm looking at right now in front of me is full of in my office.
I was looking for mine. I have one on my wall right here too. I was like, is it behind me? It's not. It's to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. I love a vision board. Because I believe that's intentionally getting in touch with the desires of your heart.
Right.
And where you want to be and where you want to go and what you want to do and who do you want to do it with and what does that look like? And so I'm super excited about this episode.
Me too.
Yeah.
I read somewhere when we first started doing our goals that of the people that write down their goals, they achieve about 90% of what they write down.
I believe that.
Yeah. And so why would we not write it down? Fear, I think, I'll say ignorance, not meaning it that in an ugly way, but just not knowing how important it is. And then I was talking with a friend of mine recently who is also a health coach, and she wants to move more into general coaching and not just health coaching, because she's amazed at the people who don't know how to make a goal. And we talked about that because people don't know how to make SMART goals.
Right.
And that's so important. So you guys, you can Google that. SMART is like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Yes.
Is that right? I think
it is right. Yes.
That was totally off the cuff. But and then for me, when I write a goal, then I have to have action steps, or some people might say mini goals, to get to the big place. So like, how do I get there? So for example, one of my goals is my health this year. That's like my first one. 2020 was not kind to me. Interestingly though, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, which hurt my feelings some kind of way.
Get over yourself.
I know, but it just really did. It made me feel some kind of way. But my husband said, you need to go get checked. My sister said, you need to go get checked. So finally I did, because I was exhausted all the time. I seriously felt like I needed to drink. I don't even drink Red Bull, but I needed to drink like something every day, like
Like
all
you
day.
needed to have it intravenously,
I
just
did.
pulling it around.
And I don't say that lightly. Like I really felt like that was how I lived. Like I would have drank a 5-hour every day if they weren't expensive and had been available to me. But when I did the sleep test, some of the things that I learned is your body is not healthy and doesn't process or digest. And when you don't hit that REM sleep, then you can gain weight. And so,
Yes.
hello. So it affected my energy level. So then I didn't want to work out because I was exhausted. So I'm not sleeping well. So it was just like a big old snowball. Like
Yeah.
one thing affected the other. And so I feel way better. I have way more energy. I don't
Good.
feel super tired every day.
Good.
I thought the machine would make me feel claustrophobic. It does not. So yeah.
And
So
you
that,
don't yawn when you have conversations with your friends.
yeah,
I used to think like Alice just thinks this conversation is so boring. She just yawns like every minute. Yeah.
I
And
did.
so, and then you would yawn when you didn't even know you were yawning.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so
You were
tired.
just exhausted,
Uh-huh.
exhausted. So I'm just going to take this little um time right here to just encourage our listeners that if anybody needs to go and have a sleep study done, that you really get right on that. So because
Yeah, for sure.
better.
Well,
Yeah.
and I was fortunate to be able to do it at home. I feel like I would have had some anxiety going to the lab, because going to sleep someplace else did make me feel anxious. I didn't have to do that. They said based on what the results would be from the test at home, then they would decide that. But I was so bad, like 80 episodes per hour, like
Let's see. Your
that
poor brain.
that it
Your
was a given.
brain.
So if I did or said things last year that you were like, what is wrong with her? We'll just say that, my
She
brain
was sleep deprived and her brain was deficient of oxygen, people.
right, for
This
sure.
is your disclaimer.
That's my disclaimer. I'm sticking to it. I do feel way better.
Good.
I do.
Good.
So,
I'm
okay.
happy about that. Yeah.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start. What are your goals, KJ?
I think it's very interesting because I've changed my mindset setting goals in 2021. I have decided not to set a goal on eliminating things
Okay.
or staying away from things. My goals are more positive,
Yeah.
which I think is very interesting with some of the goals that I have set in the past, where you eliminate things from your life, or they're more of, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm not going to eat this anymore, or so. So my goals are more forward focused and more on a positive note. But one of my goals 3 years ago was to be a woman of my word of everything. And that is still a goal of mine, because I have fallen short on some things. And so I do want to be a woman of my word, which leads me into giving myself permission to take 24 hours before I say yes to anything, because I want to be a woman of my word.
That's
And
so good.
yeah, it's very important to me, especially in my business, because in the last couple of years, I have just realized that some things, there are some gaps in my business. And so being a woman of my word will fill some of those gaps, but then also making sure that when I say that I'm going to do something, that I'm going to feel the same way tomorrow or the day after that I do when I said yes. So that's very
I love
important.
that. I use that a lot when coaching. Um, so yes, about the negativity part in the book that I put together, one of the personal growth pages is, what are you giving yourself permission to do? What are you saying yes to? And what are you saying no to? And I did that specifically because we're talking about boundaries, but the word boundary is restricting. And so, how our brain processes that, it's kinder to our brain, maybe? Is that the right verbiage? To give ourselves permission. But
Mhm.
I can give myself permission to say no.
Yes.
I can give myself permission to pause. I
Yes.
can give myself permission to do the things that protect me and my health and my self-care. Yeah, so I agree with that 100%. 100% that our verbiage and how we look at it matters
Yeah,
to achieving it.
definitely. So
Yeah.
tell me one of your goals.
So I said my first one is my health, and that's overall everything about my health. So not just weight, but to be stronger, to be more flexible, to not have as much pain in my body. And so what I eat matters, how much I move matters, which 2020 definitely limited the movement part.
Sure.
It probably didn't have to, but just what I was accustomed to doing. Like, we used to go to the gym. We loved weightlifting. We loved being at the gym. And then all of that,
Yeah.
changed. And then, yeah, you just get into the habit of it, and it just made it complicated.
Yeah.
So I do yoga at home now.
I love
I,
that.
I do love it. And so I do at least a 10-minute morning stretch with a YouTube girl. Yoga with Cassandra, I think is the name of it. And I
I love
really
that.
like that. And so she has lots of them. So like yesterday I had more time. So yesterday I did a full 30-minute yoga, and I pushed myself. Like, she's like, be kind to your body. And if you can't do this, I'm like, I can do this.
I love that.
But I do, because there's nobody in the room. I don't feel pressured to be perfect at it, which I
Yes.
like yoga for that reason, because we're practicing,
Sure.
and I love that. So I really love yoga. I love lifting weights, but I do really love yoga.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. It is, in my opinion, that yoga is a lot better on your body too.
Mhm.
You can really,
I felt it when I was done with that
yeah,
30-minute yoga practice. I felt it for sure.
yes, yes. So one of my self-care
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely one of my goals for 2021. But something new that I have been doing has been going to the chiropractor. And
Mm.
I really enjoy going to the chiropractor. So I have less pain in my body,
Uh-huh.
sciatica is gone, less anxiety, which is really interesting to me. And but the chiropractors that I've been going to are these two young girls, local in Virginia Beach, and they're really big on knowledge
Uh-huh.
and on knowledge. And so they do these free yoga workshops. And so it's I mean, you can really, I've attended a couple of their free workshops, and then they also make it free online. But it's very interesting to me. I love the fact that anybody can do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that that it can be modified
Right.
for a beginner versus, now there's some things that beginners shouldn't even try, but I really love yoga, and it has made me,
Mm-hmm.
for anyone that doesn't know me or know what I look like, I'm obese, an obese 50-year-old woman. And so it makes me feel comfortable going into a workshop where
Right.
there is a leader who will modify that for me, and I don't feel some type of way about it.
Okay.
We're not in a jazzercise class where I need oxygen and 911. You know what I mean?
I
Because
do
I
know what
would.
you mean. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that. Well, let me ask you a question. So health is one of your goals, and you have a lot of small goals within that
Right.
large umbrella of health. So how do you begin to break those up and decide on what your daily goals look like?
So once I write out my main goals, And I kind of, I'll say, subcategorize within those goals. Then I every month sit with myself and break down what I'm going to focus on each week. Each day, and then each week, and then each month. And that gives me a small list from a big bite to a small bite. So, daily would be my movement. So, practicing the yoga, getting in all of my water. Weekly might be maybe going to the gym or doing something different, weekly. I don't know what monthly would look like. I don't have a monthly one. I'm looking at my list right now. I don't have a monthly health goal because they're in my daily part of how I want to do daily. Oh, well, I guess weekly and monthly would be meal planning, making sure that I eat, that we're eating the right foods. But that's what I do. I break it down daily, weekly, and monthly.
So I love that you take those goals and you break them down with the one large goal, which is health, and then you break it down into month, and then to week, and then to daily, because that's really the only way that I can obtain a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and to work towards that big goal if I don't chunk it up, for sure.
And what I noticed over the last few years, like some of my goals are, I'm going to say, the same. So like for my spiritual and personal growth, I have a quiet time in the morning. I read a devotion or a couple, just depends on where I'm at in life. I pray and what that looks like. But after a period of time, that no longer has to be a goal because it's become a habit in my life.
Yes.
And so I might still add it or I might not. So I'm looking at my weekly and my daily list right now. That's not on my daily list because it's just what I do now.
Yeah.
I still put it here because I want to always be intentional to grow in that area. But I don't have to put that daily practice on my list, so to speak, because it's not something I'm going to forget to do.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, that's really the point of setting goals.
Right. To change our
behavior,
to create new habits in life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And so then that leads us to just being better versions of ourselves.
Right.
And if you're not growing, like what in the world? Like if you're not, like what in the world?
I realized something about me last year. Like I am not a judgmental person. Like I am very grace heavy. Everybody's got their own path, their own journey. But I did realize that for people who have no desire to make personal growth important to them, I felt some kind of way about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's such a value of mine.
Me too.
To always be growing, always be learning, to surround myself with people who think similarly in the realm of not that we think the same, but that we both have the desire to grow. So when you're exposed to new stuff, you share it with me. And when I'm exposed to new stuff, I share it with you. Whether we agree or not, that's irrelevant. That doesn't even matter. It's about the always learning more, being exposed to more.
Yeah.
And so, so like I had people in my life last year who that just wasn't important. And I had to sit with myself to see why did that bother me? Because really, it's none of my business.
Right.
It's my business. It doesn't affect me. But it did bother me. And I think only because it's such a strong value of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think from my perspective, it bothers you because you're a life coach. And you want to, your desire is to help people be better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole reason why people seek a life coach. That's the whole reason why we need life coaches is to be better. Because I'll just plug it right now that therapy kept me stuck. Okay. So I was ready. I needed to do something different. I wanted to be better. And so that's the reason why things like that bother you. I would just say that I love that about you, but then also like, don't worry your pretty little head about that.
Yeah.
That's what my papa used to say. Don't worry your pretty little head about that. Well, yeah, so
Once I acknowledged within me where it was coming from, like, and then I was like, okay, that's why I feel that way. And then I don't have to feel that way because now I know where it's coming from. I also had to learn to keep my mouth shut around people who don't necessarily want to grow. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
okay. Moving on.
Okay, what's
Moving
another
on.
one of your goals?
Um, so listen, I think before we move on, I think it's so funny because you and I have become like we love TikTok.
We do love TikTok.
So, but we love TikTok because we're learning so much from TikTok, right?
Right. I cooked dinner last night based on a TikTok recipe.
I know. I
Yep, I
know.
did, and it was good.
Organizational skills I've been
Mhm.
learning. iPhone hacks I've been
Right?
learning.
Look, those little kids and those when people like lip sync the comedy things, like, oh my
Hilarious.
gosh, I laugh out loud. And look, we just live in a world where you just need to laugh out loud. And so if you need to sit on your phone and scroll TikTok so that you laugh out loud for
Yeah,
20, 30 minutes, have at it.
at it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But really and truly, I do think it's interesting because I love TikTok for the sharing of information, because how many times do you wake up in the morning and you've got like 3 TikTok videos for me where I'm sharing information,
Mhm.
sharing
Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah, so, now I do have a girlfriend that, she loves TikTok, but not for the reasons that you and I do. So I'm very proud for the reasons why I love TikTok. Whatever you're looking for, it's out there. So we're wisdom seekers. So that's what we use
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So I have some health goals as well. And so I guess just kind of like you, I didn't really think about like an umbrella of health, because mine are really daily goals
Right.
actually when it comes to my health. And so I am committed to drinking 130 ounces of water every day. Water is something that I have really come to love.
Mhm.
But if I'm not intentional about how much I'm drinking, how often I'm drinking, I won't drink enough.
Right.
And so my skin is better, my joints are more lubricated. It
Right.
is free. It's free, y'all. Water is free,
Right.
and it's good for you. And I think that's why it's free. So yeah, and I have just recently started becoming intentional about eating 5 vegetables a day and 2 fruits, although sometimes I don't get in the 2 fruits, and that's really okay because I don't need the sugar. But it's very, my husband thinks this is hilarious because there's been a couple of nights where I haven't eaten vegetables until dinner. And so we get all 5 vegetables in one meal. Hey, I've stuck to my goal though. I've
Good
stuck to my
deal.
goal. We've been getting 5 vegetables a day. And so, and then to move more today than I did yesterday.
Mhm.
And so I didn't move a whole lot yesterday. And so that'll be pretty simple today. So I worked all day yesterday. And
Right.
so when I'm at my hair salon, I just don't move a lot. My salon's small. And
Right.
so yeah. So, and then also too, I've really been processing when we talk about food, because I do have goals and weight goals,
Mhm.
and I want to feel better and I want to look
Mhm.
better, and so I've just instead of eliminating things, I've
Right.
decided I want to process: is it worth it? So if I come to your house and you offer me coconut cake,
Mm.
it's going to be really easy for me to say no to the coconut cake. But if you have chocolate cake, I'm not saying no to the chocolate cake because the chocolate cake is worth it to me,
Right.
but the coconut cake is not.
That
And
yeah. So Tim and I were just talking about that this week, and we have a tendency to, like, we went to dinner Sunday. Yes, I think. No, maybe Saturday. We went out to dinner. which we don't go out a lot. We even our date night, most of the time we bring food in. But we went out. We were already out running some errands and we ate. And so our meal, we did like a 2 for $25 thing, and it came with dessert. So we got the dessert, but I didn't love it. I love the idea of dessert, but I don't always love dessert. And so when I processed that, like on Sunday, I think I was telling him, I was like, look, we should make a point to eat dessert twice a week and eat things that we love.
Yes.
Okay, so like Godiva chocolate cheesecake is like, I love that.
Where do you get that from?
At the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it's the only one I eat there.
Okay.
It is amazing. And when you bite it, you just say, like you can't help but say, because it's so good.
I don't need to learn to love anything else, but it's really good.
But I thought about that because sometimes like we eat dessert because it looks good, but then when you get it, you're like, I'm disappointed. And then you finish it because you ordered it and it's expensive and you paid for it.
Right. And you were looking forward to it. Right. And it's the whole experience. You're on a date with your husband. You want to share dessert. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think it's so healthy and helpful and productive for us to begin to process these things, because I am that girl that would have said coconut cake. I don't really love coconut, but it's cake. Sure, I'll have a piece.
Right.
It's not my favorite though.
Right.
And so, yeah.
If I want to eat it, I want to love it and I want it to be my favorite.
That's right.
So that's what we decided. So we're eating dessert twice a week. So on our date night and then at some point over the weekend.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you love ice cream.
I do love ice cream.
You don't want to live your life without ice cream
and
ever.
I won't.
Right. Absolutely. And so I think that is so healthy that you have given yourself permission.
Right.
So now let me ask you a question. So the next time y'all decide to do a 2 for $25 and they have dessert that neither one of you would like pick if you had your choice, what will you do?
We might not do a 2 for $25.
Okay.
Because really we probably could have both eaten for $25 anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. Or pretty close to it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that. Do you have any financial goals?
Nope. I had a financial goal last year.
Okay.
It's not on my list this year.
Okay.
And Tim really does cover most of our finances. And so he does a really good job of the budgeting and us being on track. Now we do bills and all that together, but as far as like tracking and forecasting and looking at what the future looks like, that's his brain, not mine.
Sure.
I don't have to have brain space for it because he does.
Sure.
That was a goal last year. It is not this year because really all my goals this year are really about me specifically.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
This is 2021 is Alice's year of self-care.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
I love that. When you're better, everything around you's better.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So growing my business is one of my goals. So seeing more clients. The book was huge to get the book out. To do that every quarter. So we're already looking at what that looks like for this year. My marriage is a goal. So not just growing our marriage, but being intentional about getting away and cultivating intimacy in our marriage and what that looks like.
That's good.
Extended relationships are on my list of how to cultivate friendships. Because I'm an introvert, I felt like I needed to be intentional about reaching out or spending time with people outside of the normal text Marco Polo conversations. And so what does that look like for me with extended relationships, even with family?
Yeah.
Like to be intentional. And then my home is on here just to simplify, declutter. Like I love doing that anyway. So doing a closet, rearranging a room, home maintenance, which I don't love, but we have to start doing because we've been here long enough that we need to do it. Landscaping, which I love doing stuff. So this summer and spring, we have some things we want to do in the backyard. So that kind of stuff. So really my two biggest focal points would be my health and my business. Those would be my top two.
That's good. That's good. And I think probably my health and relationships will be my top two.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have committed to not buying any new clothes for the next 6 months.
Wow.
No new clothes. Now I did that before. I actually did it a year. And so, but I needed to at that point in my life, just for financial reasons. But yeah, I've decided, and even if my health goals take me, downsizes in my wardrobe, sister, I got enough. I'll be good for 6 months, and if I'm not, then that'll be a really damn good reason to break that
Right?
goal.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that one.
yeah, I'm not buying anything to wear for the next 6 months. Yeah. So, and if that goes well, maybe I'll extend it for a year. I did it before. So, and and it's not hard. It really
Remember,
is.
you did a spending fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was, it's challenging, but, I did it, and to me, it was worth it because it really, showed me that, I can control.
Right?
I do have control of some things. I am a big girl, and I can do this. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, good. I'm proud of you for your goals.
Thank you. Thank
Proud
you.
of
I
you
love
for your
yours too.
commitment. For your
Yeah.
commitment to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I appreciate you helping to teach me how to set goals and chunk those up and really yeah, to focus on not the big picture, but the small little daily little things that lead up to that. So
Right.
I love that. I think that's where a lot of people tend to shy away from setting goals. And so, with a new year, a lot of people use the word resolutions. Let me tell you
Yeah, I don't
something.
do that either.
I have had so many New Year's resolutions that I totally stopped doing that.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
because I don't know how many times I told myself I'm going to stop smoking. And yeah, I quit smoking for like 3 days. And by January 5th, I was smoking more than I was before I set the goal. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, but just to give the listeners a little, I did stop smoking in
Right.
2014. And so I have not had a cigarette since 2014, but I didn't do it as a New Year's resolution. I did it as a birthday gift to myself. So that is also possible.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So this has been really good, really good. I just I speak success over every one of your goals.
And same
That
for
at the
you.
end,
Yes.
thank you. And that at the end of the year we can say, look, we're still doing this in November.
Right. We need to make a point to come back and do a podcast on what we succeeded in and how much we learned.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you that one of my goals when it comes to relationships is to be more present and have less phone.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So I have, especially with TikTok, I've been noticing that. But
I
yeah,
shared
I will say that at least once a night I try to find something that my husband would be interested in and can learn something from on TikTok, and I show it to him. So
I showed him and we just laugh. He
uh-huh.
be laughing and then I watch it again with him and he laughs.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. So listeners, let us know what your goals are.
Yeah.
Let us know if you set goals. Let us know how you set goals. Let us know what you do to achieve those goals. Like, we want to know all the things about your 2021 goals. Share that with us. Share that with us.
And if you're struggling setting goals, I can help you. That's one of my coaching packages. I would be happy to partner with you. You don't have to live here. We can do it through Zoom, through FaceTime. We have all the resources available. It's not expensive, and you're definitely worth the investment. So I'm just going to do a personal plug right there.
Hey, listen, have at it. Seriously, because your coaching added value to my life. So I would encourage any listener that under the sound of our voice that
Yeah.
if they are interested in having you help them set some 2021 goals, that they would absolutely reach out to you. So tell the listeners how they can find you.
Oh, so gracefulimpact.net. You can find me. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, I am graceful_impact_life coach. And on Facebook, it's just Graceful Impact. But you can also find me by my name, Alice Abbott Ranker, is how I am on Facebook. So, yeah, you can find me that way too.
Get yourself a life coach. You won't be sorry.
It helped me. I have a life coach.
Sure.
Yeah. So she helps me for sure. So, okay, KJ, what's your favorite song right now?
My favorite song is Refiner by Maverick City Worship.
Oh, I love Maverick City.
I do too. And so can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you choose a word for the year?
Oh, I do.
Were we going to talk about that? Do we want to talk
Oh,
about that?
just quickly.
Okay.
We'll
Quickly.
add it in. My word for the year is flourish.
Love that.
I do choose a word for the year every year. This year I leaned toward grow, like whatever meant grow, but I didn't want to just grow because weeds can grow.
Yes, they can.
And your plants can grow and be crazy and wild, and I wanted to flourish. So I didn't just want to grow, but I want to grow with intention and to produce something beautiful. So
I
my
love
word is
that.
flourish.
I love that.
What's yours?
Refine.
Oh.
And yeah, God gave that to me on my knees. Really, I was yeah. And so there's a lot of things in my life that need to be refined.
That's good.
And actually, I would just tell you that in the beginning, at first I thought he was saying purify, and that scared the crap out of me. So, with that being said, I feel like I've already been through the fire, and I don't want to go there again.
Exactly.
And so I really sought him about that on several occasions. And it came to me one morning just praying in my quiet time, and he was really, I was having a breakthrough actually. And so yeah, refine. A lot of things I need to refine in my life. Get out the impurities.
Yeah, I love that.
So and because of that, which is so crazy, because after that time with God that morning, I got in my car and turned my music on. I listened to Spotify, and that was the very song that came on. Now, see, I am obsessed, which sounds a little crazy, with Maverick City music right now, obsessed with everything they do. And so that song came on my Spotify in my car, Refine. And I was like, okay. I mean, he just confirmed it for me. That's my word. So my word is refine. So, and I love that yours is flourish. That's been one of my words before. So listen, what is one thing you're deeply grateful for?
That I'm an introvert, because having my quiet time and being alone with me, and I like me, I love that. I love the time that I get to spend reflecting. I journal dreams and I meditate, and yeah, when the house is quiet and it's just me, which is pretty much every morning except the weekends. And even then, sometimes I'm the first one up, and to have that stillness.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that. I know when I don't have that.
Yeah.
The people around me know when I don't have it for several days in a row. Because I'm not the same. Like my calmness and my ability to choose peace as quickly is not the same. Yeah.
Awesome. That's good. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I love that. But I don't think that has anything to do with you being an introvert, though. I think it has, I
Go ahead.
mean, you're just intentional with your quiet time in the morning, and you know that that's what fills your cup.
Right, but I think being an introvert because I don't need other people
Right.
for the
Okay.
energy. I don't need other people around me to energize me to do stuff or to energize me internally. Like I'm really okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I always knew that about myself.
That's good.
I don't think people who know me, even today, people are like, "What? You're an introvert?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I really am. I really have been my whole life. I mean, I like people. I'm socially okay. I can totally be good in a crowd, but I do navigate toward the one or two people in the room that I want to talk to.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. So, listeners, if you need some help setting some goals, find Alice. She would love to help you.
I would love to help you. And if not
Yeah.
me, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody. Yeah.
some,
Life coach.
yeah,
Yes. So, thank y'all for listening. This has been amazing. We look forward to hearing some of your 2021 goals and how you intend to be intentional to reach those. And we just really, really thank you so much
yeah.
for listening in 2020 to us. Even though, sometimes we still don't even know what we're doing, but we're having fun
We
and we're
are.
getting good feedback, and we're super excited about 2021.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening, y'all.
I want to say thank you too for listening, for sharing your time with us. Time is the commodity you don't get back. And so for you giving that to us, I so appreciate that. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have the best day available to you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Hey, you guys, we just want to say thank you today. We want to thank our listeners and those of you that have subscribed to the Simple Conversations podcast. We want to thank our sound and production team for all of their hard work behind the scenes. That would be Tim and Alyssa Ranker. And we also want to give a big shout out to CMS Mortgage Solutions and our friend Karina Carter, because without her, it would be really challenging for us to make this podcast. So keep listening and share it with your friends. Thanks.
Hey y'all, this is KJ from Simple Conversations where grace meets strength. Thank y'all so much for listening and tuning in. If it weren't for y'all, there would be no reason for us to do this. Listen, we need your help. We need your support. So head on over to patreon.com/Simple Conversations and decide exactly how you want to be involved. For $5 a month, you would get access to behind the scenes content. For $25 a month, you would get that as well as a shout out on the podcast or fan input. As a supporter for $50 a month, you would get all that in the previous two tiers, as well as a one-time gift or book that Alice and I have read or are reading that we think would add value to your life. Or for $100 a month, we consider you family. You ever heard that before? That's friends that are so good that we consider you family. So you would get everything in the previous three tiers, as well as exclusive branded merchandise from Simple Conversations. So listen, our heart's desire is to do more and to be more. And so in order for us to do that, we need help. And so we're dependent on you to help us make that happen. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for your support. See y'all.